He's got bright rosy cheeks and a fluffy white beard with marshmallow walls and a big red chair. Santa's coming.
Ho, ho, ho! And welcome back to Santa Has a Podcast. Well, we got a great fun week here for you. You know, this is where we share stories and laughs and all the things that are going on at the North Pole. And I want you to have some fun. And I'm sure you're looking at me right now and you're saying, what is Santa wearing this week? Well, you know, Santa is a bit of a doctor in ways, okay? I'm a toy specialist, okay? And I help out the elves at the North Pole. Now, I have a lot of wonderful elves up here who create all kinds of wonderful toys and do all kinds of wonderful things, but sometimes they need some help with the toys, and I'm the man who comes in and takes and repairs them. I am their doctor, and I take care of that stuff. So we'll talk about that this week. But before we jump into all of that, we've got our little riddle that we had last week. You know, at the end of the podcast, I asked you a riddle, and I wanted you to guess the answer to it. So here's the riddle. Let me see if you know the answer. I'm written with care and filled with cheer. I tell Santa what to bring each year. I travel by mail, both near and far. What am I? Heading to the North Star. Did you guess the answer? How many of you got the answer? That's right. It's a letter to Santa. Right. It's written with care, and it brings lots of cheer, and it's done every year, and it comes to me, and it travels both near and far, and it comes to me at the North Pole, up by the North Star. So that's how it is. So thank you. You got the answer? That is great. You know, we're going to have another riddle for you a little later. That'll be for next week's answer, but I'm going to give you another riddle at the end of today's little podcast. Hope you'll get that answer too. But in the meantime, today we're going to talk about fun facts and about toy making. This is our toy making edition. That's why I'm wearing my toy maker's jacket. I'm a doctor, a specialist, a toy specialist. And I can get in there and check on the reflexes on the teddy bear. And I have my stethoscope here so I can check on the heartbeat. You know, I can see how they're doing. Let's see. Oh, my goodness. We put this on here, and I can go to the teddy bear and say, okay, take a deep breath. Oh, that's good. I can also do it with the little dollies and things like that, you know, and so it makes it very, very nice. Anyway, so I have my stethoscope and all my tools and things like that. You know, those are my doctor's tools. That's different from the tools we use to make the toys, okay? My doctor's tools are quite different. They're more careful and more gentle with the toys, because that's what I'm doing. Sometimes a toy doesn't always work right, and that's where I come in and work on helping out the elves to make sure the toy works right. So when you get it, it brings joy and it brings happiness to you. Okay, so let's talk about fun facts about toys. And these are kind of like, did you know that our workshop at the North Pole uses over 10,000 feet of ribbon every day in December? 10,000 feet a day. That's like 300,000 feet for the whole month. That's a lot of ribbon. Yes, And did you know that the first toy ever made was a wooden yo-yo? Yeah, that was before I made the wooden boats. I made a wooden yo-yo, and I still have that yo-yo. Yes, that was the first toy I ever made. And then there are 8 departments at the North Pole in the toy department. 8 departments. I know all of you thought that there's just one department where they make the toys and maybe a department where they paint the toys or something like that. Well, guess what? We have a department that makes plushies. That's the little stuffed animals and stuffed teddy bears and things like that. Then we got tech toys. Those are the toys that usually have to have a battery in them too. But those are technical, you know, little games, things you can play with and stuff like that. And then we have books. Books are a big toy. You know, a lot of you, I think books are very, very important because reading helps make your mind grow. And I want you to read as much as you can and learn. So books are very, very important. You know, even when we had that period a year or two ago when you couldn't go to school, some kids couldn't go to school, books were very important to help you keep up with your studies and your education. So I love getting you books. And there are a lot of neat stories out there every year that you can learn. Some of the stories are about Santa and the North Pole. Some are about animals. Some are adventure stories. Books are a lot of fun, okay? Now, then we also have games. Games also make you think a lot. And, you know, try to strategize on a game and have fun on the game. I mean, the original games were like Candy Cane Lane and Chutes and Ladders and stuff like that. But then we get into the more technical games and the Monopoly games and the life games. And now some of the games even have a little bit of electronics with them. There's also, Battleship and fun things like that. So all kinds of games, but these are games where you can play and challenge each other and play with your friends and your family too. That's what's fun about the games. Then we go to outdoor things, and we have outdoor gear. That's a whole division where the elves work on things for you to play with outside. And a lot of times that also includes sporting equipment, okay? Basketballs, baseballs, hockey equipment, soccer equipment, lacrosse equipment. Maybe you get to go hunting with your mom or dad. We have some stuff to go hunting with, or fishing. Fishing gear is real popular. Poles and hooks and all the things you need for fishing, and sometimes the fishing clothing too. The camo clothing or, rubber wader boots and things like that. So again, outdoor gear is very, very popular. Then there's music. How many of you like music? How many of you sing a little bit? Maybe do you want to play an instrument? Do you like to play the piano or the drums? Or maybe you'd like to play like a saxophone or a trumpet or something like that. So the elves make some things like that, musical instruments, Again, our magic is mostly toys. So sometimes these items are more toy-like. But again, they're fun and they make noise and sometimes beautiful music too. How about a xylophone? Probably the most popular musical toy when you were a baby was a xylophone, where you could just sit there and take that little mallet and hit the, ding, 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 ding. You could play all kinds of fun things. So music is great. Then we have building things, construction things. That's everything from erector sets and Lincoln Logs, which are the older programs, to the newer ones now, where you actually have batteries and little electric motors and science kits and things like that, where you can do some really creative things. Again, these are all things that help you use your mind and your thinking and be creative in what you're doing. And finally, the last department, which is probably the most department of all, because everything I just talked about, the other 7 departments, everything from their departments goes to the last department, and that is the wrappers. The wrappers are the ones that take these things, they package everything up, they wrap it, and they take that 300,000 feet of ribbon and start wrapping the package and putting bows on it. So that's how we do all of that in the 8 departments. And then, of course, the elves also work in teams, by the way. They don't work by themselves. So we might have 2, 3, 4, maybe a lot of them times we'll have 5 to 8 elves all working together in the same area, whether they're all working on the toy trucks or they're all working on games, they're all working on books. They work in teams. And again, their motto is build with heart and wrap with joy. Okay, that's what they like to do. Build with heart. We try to put our heart, our spirit, and our love in every toy and package that we put out. Okay? Wow, those are great fun facts, and they kind of jingle my bells. Again, having all the toys and the magic, children are always wondering, how do we make everything? How do we do everything? So I hope that information helped you out a little bit. Right now, it's time to get more information about what's going on at the North Pole. We're going to zip over to Candy Cane Square and our field correspondent, the one and only Chatter Snowglitz. Come in, Chatter.
Oh, thank you, Santa. Well, it's snowflakes and sleigh bells. It's Chatter Snowglitz reporting live from Candy Cane Square, where the toy shop's a-whirlin', the ribbons a-flyin', and the elves are working faster than a peppermint-powered pogo stick. Let's take a peek behind the workshop doors and see what magic is being made today. First, the teddy bear assembly team just hit 1,000 cuddles, and they are the cutest, most snuggly teddy bears ever. Uh-oh. There was a giant glitter spell in the gift wrap workshop, but the elves turned those frowns upside down and made the spill a happy mistake because it's now called the Sparkle Slip Zone. The best thing that is happening for me is there is a new appreciation board that lets elves leave kind notes for each other. I love that one, and I try and put multiple notes up every day. And this just in, oh my gosh, Comet delivered cupcakes to the bow tying team as a thank you. Oh, Comet, that was such a nice thought, and that's incredible teamwork, the North Pole style. Reporting live with my fellow and favorite North Pole teammates here in the toy workshop, It's Chatter Snowglitz jingling out. Back to you, Santa.
Thank you, Chatter. That was a wonderful report. I was hoping Comment might drop by here with one of those cupcakes, but I do love hearing about what they're doing, and the bow tying team does a great, great job taking care of all those presents and things like that. Well, now I want to get into our main segment today. I want to talk a little bit about inside the toy shop. Children are always asking me questions about how many elves do we have at the North Pole? What do the elves do? How do you take care of the elves? How do the elves move the presents around? So lots of little things that they work on at the North Pole. So let's talk a little bit about that. First of all, in the North Pole, we have the Idea Room. The Idea Room is where imagination starts, and Snowell and Elf Ziggy are the leaders in that area, and they think of all the new things that come up every year. And sometimes their ideas actually come from you. A child might get a gift and they like it, but they said, I wish this toy would do this, or wish this toy would do that. And the elves hear about it, and so the next year they try to remodel the toy and make it better and make it have a different feature, a different thing it will do. I remember when Elmo first came out, and all the kids loved the little Elmo dolls. Well, then one of the children said, why doesn't Elmo speak? And so the elves worked on Elmo and made him speak. And the next thing you know, the kids were saying, why doesn't Elmo dance? So then they reworked Elmo and made Elmo speak and dance. So the elves are always thinking of new things to do in the Idea Room. Then, of course, there's the builders. They're the ones that take the ideas from the Idea Room and build exactly what they want. So when they wanted Elmo to speak, the builders figured out how to make Elmo to speak. And when they wanted Elmo to dance, they figured out how to make Elmo dance. So the builders are the ones that get all the work done so that we can then make the toy and get it out to you. Then there's the quality check elves. These are the elves that take the toys and check them and make sure that they're safe for everybody to play with and fun to play with, and there's nothing sticking out, no wires or nothing that you could poke your finger on or hurt or pinch your finger or anything like that. So quality check is very, very important for all the kids. Then we get over to wrapping. That's where the glitter team and the ribbon teams and everybody else, they take care of getting everything wrapped so that we can get it into the toy bag and onto the sleigh for delivery to all of you. And finally, that's where we get the sleigh loading team. They get the wrapped packages, and their job is to try to fit all the packages into the toy bag and then get all of that into the sleigh so that I can get it delivered to you. Now, I've got to tell you a little secret. We have a whole lot of toy bags. So we put toy bags all over the world. So when I am flying somewhere and I have a toy bag full of toys and I get down near the end and I only have 2 or 3 toys left, guess what? Right nearby, there's another bag for me to pick up and continue delivering. So I can keep delivering all night long. We have thousands of toy bags stored all over the world so we can get to every child. And again, we deliver millions and millions and millions of toys all in one night. It's an amazing, amazing task, yes. So every elf, big or small, helps us create all the things that we need to do. And they do this quietly sometimes. Sometimes they do it, and they're kind of silly and funny. But it's all an important job each of them has to do what they're doing. And just like families, and even in your classrooms, we best work together. Yes, we work together to get everything done so that you get the toy that you want, that you have a happy Christmas. Because that's what we want. We want every child and every family to have a happy, happy Christmas. Okay? So that's how that works. Now, excuse me, my nose is itching. Oh, boy. Now, how does everything go from a wish to the workshop? This is a magical joy and a magical way. How does your wish end up having something in the workshop? First of all, you make a wish. It could be your letter to Santa. It could be that you meet me and you tell me what you want, okay? Maybe you've told your mom or dad and an elf overheard you, your elf on the shelf. Your elf reports back to me what you've asked for. So I get your messages in many, many different ways of what you would like for Christmas. So that's how it begins. Even if it's just a whisper, sometimes Santa gets the message of what you want. And whether it's mailed, emailed, or sparkled through the stars, it is a message that I end up getting, and the elves get it and get it into the magic mail system at the North Pole. Then the North Pole mailroom, they take that and they sort everything out. It's run by very, very speedy elves. Remember I mentioned Zip and Zing? They do all of this work. They're really great. They sort through thousands and thousands of wishes. That's thousands and thousands of wishes every single day they do this. It's amazing. They double check everything to make sure that important things are correct on the wishes, like your name and where you live, so they make sure that when I do deliver the present, it goes to the right house and to the right person, which is you, okay? Then we have the list checkers. The list checkers are checking on the nice list. Now, you've asked for something, but they're going to double check and make sure that you're on the nice list, that you've earned this gift, okay? It's one thing to ask for the gift, but have you earned it? Are you on the nice list? You want to make sure about that. So remember, if you've been naughty, you got to compensate. You got to do more nice days than bad days. So do more nice things to keep yourself on the nice list. And then the checkers are going to check on that, and they're going to tell us whether you're on the nice list or not. And then once it's approved, that gets going into the next area where the toy brainstorming people will make sure the toys are put together for you. The design elves will make sure the toy is made and then packaged up and get ready for you. They build the toy, and from building the toy, then it goes to the wrapping people. The wrapping people wrap the toy, put your name on the tag and your address and everything, and it goes to whichever toy bag is the one that goes closest to where you live, okay? Because, again, we have thousands of toy bags all over the world, okay? So they get it into the toy bag that's closest to where you live, and then they can get that toy to you. And then, of course, we do have one, when we start out, one bag starts the sleigh, but the bag will go into the sleigh and then Santa will bring the toy to your home. It's that easy. That's exhausting. I'm tired already. Oh my goodness. Are you tired too? That's a lot of work, isn't it? But the elves love doing it. Santa loves doing it too. And we do it because we love you. Yes. You're very, very special because you do good deeds. You are kind and you share and you do good deeds. We want to make sure you're happy and you get what you want for Christmas, okay? Is that good? Now let's see. I've got, and I want to remind you, the main lesson here is the next time you send a wish, okay, just know there's a whole lot of people that work on this list, a whole lot of people behind Santa that do all of the work so that when I deliver the present that you're happy on Christmas morning, okay? Well, that's where the magic happens. All that is all the magic and everything. It's teamwork from toys and everything else. It makes wishes come through, your wishes, okay? So now that we've done all the wishes, we learned how the toys are made and how they might get from an idea all the way through to manufacture to getting delivered to you. We need to take a little break here. I need to take a little break. I'm tired of all this work that we've done here. We need a little bit of fun, a little joy. How about a little bit of giggle? You like giggles? Okay. Let's head over to Rudolph, because Rudolph every week has a couple of his jokes for us. So, Rudolph, take it away. Let's hear your roots. What do you got for us, Rudolph?
Okay, Santa, I'm ready. Why did the Christmas lights work so well? Because they always stayed connected. Why do Santa's reindeer make the best team? Because we always pull in the same direction.
Those jokes are really great, and that is true. Teamwork is very, very important, and all the reindeer always pull in the same direction to help us get to all the homes all in one night and deliver those presents to you, okay? Well, now that we've got those jokes out of the way, by the way, Rudolph, thank you very much, okay? And we got to move on because it's now time to peek into the mailbag and check about the Mailbox Magic, okay? And remember, these are letters and notes and little questions that come from all of you on our website, Santa as a Podcast. Hopefully we can read your message here if you send one in to us. This week I've got 2 letters. I want to see what we've got here. And these are just little parts of the letter, but there was a question in each letter. So we're going to start off with Ethan. Ethan is 11 years old, and Ethan asks this question. He says, Santa, I'm trying to be nicer to my little sister. It's hard, but I'm trying. Can I please have a remote control car? Okay. Well, I think it is important that you do try, because I know having a little sister, sometimes she gets into your stuff, doesn't she? Okay? Well, I know how that is, and it's really difficult. But she's curious. She just wants to know what you have. She likes you. She loves you. She wants to be like you, maybe, and that's why she likes to play with your things. So, be kind to her, be understanding to her, and if you keep doing that, well, I'll try to get you that remote control car. But remember, my magic is toys, and I am going to surprise you on Christmas morning. Okay? Okay, that's good. Let's try our next question here. This one here is from Harper. Harper is 9 years old, and Harper's question is, I've been working really hard in school, and I've even organized my books by color. Wow, by color. I'm proud of me. Okay, that is so fantastic. And because you're good and because you got your books organized, I'm going to try to surprise you with something very special. I think it means I need to also add another book to that list, but I'll try to surprise you with some other gifts too. Would you like that? Okay, Harper, that's great. Now remember, you kids can send me your messages too. I think I've got some audio recordings too from some of the kids, so let me listen up here. Who do we have first on my help? Wait a minute, you helpers. I got all the helpers in the back there. One of you's got to play the tape. Okay, let's hear the first question, the first audio question.
Do you only eat cookies and milk?
Oh, do I only eat cookies and milk? No, I eat all kinds of things. Now, of course, I eat regular food when I'm at the North Pole. Mrs. Claus always cooks wonderful meals. She wants me to eat healthy. But when I get out in the sleigh and traveling around the world, sometimes it's more like snacks. And she wants me to eat healthy snacks if I can. But there's a lot of cookies and milk. But maybe when I'm visiting some people down in Mexico and in parts of South America, I might have tamales, or I might have plantains, or other types of food that you would find in South America. Or maybe when I'm over in Europe, I might have tarts or pastries, that type of thing. Different types of food for different parts of the world. And by the way, when I go to Greece, it's baklava. Ooh, I love that. And then, of course, when I go to the Nordic countries, as I've mentioned on some of my other podcasts, they have porridge for me. They have oatmeal or certain types of cereal with raisins and nuts and wonderful food in them. So, again, I get to get lots of different food, and hopefully I'm eating healthy enough that, that I'll be able to keep my strength up and get to all of your homes on Christmas Eve, okay? Let's see. Do we got another recorded message? Let's hear it.
How does your sleigh fly up to the sky?
How does my sleigh fly so high in the sky? Well, we're very lucky that this is where a lot of the Christmas magic comes from, okay? The reindeers start usually in November or so. They start eating special batches of magic oats and feed and grains. And those oats help them build up the energy to fly. And because of their agility, because of their strength, they're able to pull the sleigh and help the sleigh fly. Now, the elves have helped out a little bit. Over the years, they've added some booster rockets to the sleigh and some funny things like that just to kind of lighten the load, because the toys, the boxes, they get heavier and heavier every year. We want to make sure we get to everybody and get all the things delivered. So with flying reindeer and jet booster engines, we can go everywhere, but that's how we fly so high. And we get up very, very high. It's very, very cold up there. But again, we all seem to like that cold weather up above. So it makes it really fantastic to get around and get to everybody. Is that it? You like that answer? I hope you do. Anyway, there's lots of magic at the North Pole, lots of special things that go on. And again, this is what makes the holidays so much fun. And, it's like, how does Santa get up and down the chimney? And how do we get all around the world one night? And how does the sleigh fly? And how do you know when I've been naughty or nice? All of this are little bits and pieces of magic. And, of course, the important thing is we want you to believe about all these things. It's very, very, very special, okay? Now, those are great letters and questions. We want you to keep on sending them to us here at Santa as a Podcast. Now, it's time to kind of quiet down a little bit. Every week we get to this point, we quiet down. We get very, very, very quiet because we're listening for the spirit meter. Wow, I always like that. It gets stronger and better every week. The spirit meter, for those of you maybe you're new and you don't know what the spirit meter is, the spirit meter is how we measure all the good deeds and all the good things that everybody does. And the higher the spirit meter goes, the more energy and magic Santa and the sleigh and the reindeer have on Christmas Eve. So we need all of your spirit meter things. And you make the spirit meter go up higher and higher by doing good deeds, by being kind, by sharing with people all kinds of wonderful good deeds. So will you guys do that for me? And we'll make the spirit meter go right through the roof. It's very, very special. Yeah. Anyway, remember, jolly good deeds are important. Being kind to other people are important. Like last week, I gave you a jolly good deed to do, and that jolly good deed was to bake a treat or draw your favorite picture and give it to somebody as a gift. Yes, isn't that neat? So this is where you were to get your parents to help you and maybe cook something, or maybe you sat down and drew a picture or something and you gave that to someone else. And that's what helped make the meter go higher and higher. So I'm glad for all of you that did that. You did do it, right? Oh, that's good. Okay. And each week we're going to give you a different good deed to try, because we want that meter to go so high that on Christmas Eve it's through the roof, and we've got more energy than needed to get around the world in one night, to get your presents to you on time, and make sure you have a very happy Christmas morning. That's our goal. And that meter and everything you put on the spirit meter helps us reach that goal. Okay? So keep up the good work. Now let's look at what we're going to do this week. We have a good deed each week that we want you to participate in. So I want you to try this week. This week, Santa would like you to be part of a team, working with some other people and doing something. So be a team helper this week. Help clean up your toys, or write a thank you note to someone on your team. Thank your brother or your sister or a neighbor or a friend. You know, you can send a thank you note to anybody else, but somebody who you work with or play with, okay? Send them a thank you note. And then if you have somebody you notice that is doing a good job, maybe you notice a friend has done a good job, or your brother or sister has done a good job, wouldn't it be neat to tell them they did a good job, thank them, congratulate them on doing a good job? This is all a wonderful way. People love being complimented, to being thanked for what they're doing. It makes them feel good. And the surprising thing is, you feel good too. Yes, because you made them feel good, you feel good. It's just a wonderful, wonderful thing. So we do have that. And that, of course, will keep the spirit meter rising, to keep us high in the sky and get us to where we're going on Christmas Eve. And now it's time to wrap up, because I've been talking enough for this podcast. You notice Santa does talk a lot, right? You know, I always kid Mrs. Claus, if she puts a cookie in front of me, I can talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. So anyway, it's always lots of fun and everything like that. But now it's time for us to wrap up. But before I wrap up and say goodbye, we have our riddle of the week. Would you like to have another riddle? Okay. Here's the riddle of the week. I'm going to read it to you. In fact, I'll read it to you twice. Okay? I want you to guess the answer to the riddle, but don't tell anybody. Keep it to yourself. And next week, I'll give you the answer. Okay? So here's the riddle we'll start off with. I share stories and jokes each week with magic and cheer that's fun to seek. You press to listen, not always to see. What am I? Can you guess me? Okay, I'm going to read it again. Here we go. I share stories and jokes each week with magic and cheer that's fun to seek. You press play to listen, not always to see. What am I? Can you guess me? Do you have an answer? Have you figured out what it is? Well, don't say anything. Keep it to yourself. Or if you don't have an answer yet, think about it. And next week, I'll give you the answer to this. Wow, it's great to have been with you today, and I hope to see you again next time. But again, it's always nice to see you every week on Santa Has a Podcast, okay? So keep spreading the joy and the kindness, and I will talk to you next time on Santa Has a Podcast. Ho, ho, ho!
Santa's